Okay, today we're going to be starting Chapter 6, Inheriting Events, the Mother of Pearls. We're going to be making the Super Rainbow Reef game. And here is your Game Maker's Apprentice book, which is in your OneNote. So you can go to OneNote and you can see it in wherever your section is. And this game, Super Rainbow Reef, is kind of like Super Breakout. It's like you bang the star up and you knock out the little bricks one at a time. All right, so you go ahead and read through this, and then we're going to start. We're going to start creating some sprites. So all of our resources for this game are in our Files section, Chapter 6, Super Rainbow Reef. And you could see here are our GIFs and our bitmaps and our sounds, sound files. All of this stuff is right here. So you could download all that stuff and we can use it as you want it to go. So let's take a look at where we're going to start. Let's start our Game Maker. Okay. And first thing we want to do is we launch Game Maker. We already did that. We have an empty game. Create a new sprite called the sprite title and use the title ping from our resources, which is in our teams. So let's go to our teams and look for our title. This is all alphabetical. ST. Oh, I don't see it. So let's go ahead and upload this up here. Files. Make sure it's there for you. So make sure you don't delete these files. We're looking for Game Maker. And anyone can upload these files in there. So let's put those up there. Now this stuff's being uploaded. Oh, there's already a thing there. Okay. Oh, I see what's wrong. All right, let's get it over there. There they are. They were already down there. All right, so let's go back. Which one were we looking for here? We're looking for the title ping from the resources. I don't even see a ping. So there's a bitmap. We can download both of these and decide which one we want to look at. So these all came in our downloads. All right, so here's these two. And what we'll do is we'll go to our documents. And we'll start a file or a folder, new folder called Rainbow Reef. And then we could start putting our whatever we're using. So we have a bitmap and so here it says Super Rainbow Reef. That's the bitmap one. And we have Super Rainbow Reef. So one has a lot of colors on it and one doesn't. So you decide which one you want. I'm going to go with the bitmap one. So we want to create a sprite. Load sprite. We're going to go to our documents. Ooh. and there I got a Rainbow Reef folder, and we can see the two. We're gonna pick this one. It's a nice color background to it. So we could keep the background or remove the background. I say we remove the background because then we could make it our own. We can go ahead and we can add any type of picture, like maybe an aquarium picture or something behind it. So let's go ahead and hit open. So now we have that there. That's what it looks like. I'm going to call it Sprite Title. Create 5 buttons. All right, we're going to have the buttons in there and create those sprites. And then we're going to use create a background using the background. And then we're going to bring in the music file. So that's the first 5 things we're going to do here. So you go ahead and do that. And then once you do that, I will show you how to create the title object resource for the front end. All right, to put all this stuff together. So I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to pause this here, or you can pause it here and do this, and then come back, and then we'll be on the next step here. All right, so I got my last button here. Load sprite. You can see I put all the pictures in my Rainbow Reef file so that I could see them all when I want to look at them. All right, and I can hit OK. Now remember, if I want to, I can edit this. Right? I can go through. I can make copies, create a new sprite from it, or even edit this image. And I don't know if you remember how we do this. You could spray paint on it, pick a color from the image, draw lines on it, select using the magic wand. So I could select something using the magic wand, and then I could pick a new color if I want it to be there. I could use a paint bucket in there. See? So you could do things here. Hit the check mark. Hit the check mark. So now you see I got a couple red dots in here. You could write your own type of buttons if you want. All right. So this is the point where you should be able to start creating your own game, not just filling in the blanks and creating the game that's in the book. You should be able to create your own images, and you should be able to create your own game to make it yours. So this is the quit button. All right, so these buttons are over here, and if you didn't put them in the right order, you can just click and drag them any way you want. All right, we can reopen things. This Rainbow Reef here, we got all this stuff written in there, and we can edit this if we want. We can put in our name. All right, let's say created by Mr. Noon, and then hit OK. You see that there? We can move that around anywhere we wanted. Rainbow Reef, created by Mr. Noon. So you can go, and then you can change the fonts. You can do all types of things that you want with it. Different sizes, different colors. That looks good. So go ahead and put your name on this title. We're going to use this as a title page, and then that'll show up. Put it right there like you did mine. And remember to create your own type of images so that your game is yours. You see that? So whenever we have a title page from now on, go ahead and put your name on that title page so that we know that you created that game and you're the one who did the hard work to make it. All right, so we'll leave that there. And you'll see that's right there. And when we use that, it'll be there for us. All right, so what I did was I went through and put the I put all these sprites in. Now I'm just going to create a background. And I don't really like these backgrounds, to tell you the truth. So if I go into this Rainbow Reef folder and look at these backgrounds, I don't really like that. So I think what I'm going to do for the background is I'm going to go to Google. Let's lower all this stuff. And I think I want to find a nice image myself of a coral reef. Let's see what we have here and see if there's a nice image. So I think this one looks really good, or this one. There's more images. I like this one a lot. So let's this is a really good image. Let's see if that, let's go back. Let's see if we can, oh wait, it's here. Save image as, and we're going to go to our documents, our Rainbow Reef. It's a JPEG. I'm going to put in there, you could give it your own name, but now that's in there. And now when we have our game, under backgrounds, right? Insert background. And I think we want to call it called background 1. So you load background, and we're going to go to our documents, Rainbow Reef. And look, there's our picture right there. So look at that. What a nice background that is. Much better than that garbage background. So you go find your background, a background that you like. But make sure that it doesn't have, well, I guess you can use anything you like. And then when you make the game, if it's difficult to see your tiles, like this is good because it has all this blue in it. It doesn't have too many colors, a nice blue color to it. You can change the backgrounds anytime you want anyways. So then you hit OK. There you go. So now I got my background in there, background 1. And all I'm going to do now is add my music. So let's check that out, how we do that. Create a new sound music. All right, so we want our sounds. Right, create a sound. And the sound that we want is our music, MP3. Load sound. Do Rainbow Reef. Music. All right. And we're going to call this sound music. All right, now remember, ND_music. Until you get really good at programming, make sure that you use whatever it is they tell you to use here, right? Make sure you do background with a 1, all the rest of it, because when you're writing your titles or your programs, you're going to need everything to work correctly. So unless you're really, really good at GameMaker, you should use right now what they give you, the names that they give you for these things. Otherwise, when you're creating your own games, you can give any names you want. But if you're trying to follow the directions here and you need to learn how to program, you want to make sure that all your objects and sounds and have all the same names, so that when you program, you have everything done correctly. And you can kind of see here what we're going to have put in here, what it's going to look like when we put it all together in a room. So let's finish this up with our sound first. Whoops, where'd I go? Sound music. And let's see, do we want it to be a background sound? Create a new sound resource from the chapters folders. All right, so there we go. It's just a sound, and we hit OK. All right, so now we have all of our sprites, we have our background, and we have our sound music. And now we can create objects for the title, and we can start programming it. So here we have our sprite. We're going to create an object. We'll call it object underscore title. All right, object underscore title. And we're going to use our sprite title. And then we're going to add a create event and include the set score action, set score to 0. Add event, create. And then let's see what this looks like. Set score. Right here at score, we have set score. And set score to 0. Hit OK. So now we have that in there. Add another game start. Other game start event. Include play sound. Other game start. Play sound. Set the loop. So we have our sound music. Set the loop. To true, so it plays forever, and then hit OK. All right. Now we're going to create the button object resource front end. Create a new object called object button start. Add the mouse left press next from action. Left press event happens when the user clicks on instant screen position, left mouse, and hit OK. Then we're going to do the other button objects. OK. Picking that button start. Add mouse left press, and then we're going to do a next room action. Mouse left pressed. In the main 1 tab, we're going to do the next room. Next room. We can add a transition if we want. Let's see, does it ask us to do a transition? All right, so it doesn't ask us to do anything, but what we can do, it'll just go to the next room. But we can add a nice little transition if we want. We can do any kind of transition. You can test different ones and learn which ones you like. I'm going to do create from center. That seems like a nice one. And then hit OK. You know, we're going to do this for the other objects. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause this here and then do all these, and then I'll come back to you when I got it done. So I have this done. Let's look at it. It says that we'll be putting a file name in later, so we're going to just leave the default. Right. So this was on the main 2 tab. All right. So we hit OK. So we have the left press, and then we have the load game, and then we just hit it as it was for our object butt load. Next, we're going to do a button help program. So let's create that. Same thing, left press, and we're going to have show info. Shows the player next entered game info. Click OK. So we're just going to put that show info action on main 2. Mouse, left press, main 2, show info. Then we're just going to hit OK. Now we're going to do our button scores. High score action. We can change if we want backgrounds in here. We could leave it as default for now, but you can change all these colors and do different things, have borders, all the rest of it. So let's just hit OK. So last one's the object button quit, and then we want to do the end game action. Main tab. Main 2. Oh, here we go. Restart game, end game. There you go. Hit OK. All right, so we have all our objects in here. Let's hit File Save, since we did all that hard work. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our room with all our wonderful buttons. So now we're going to make our room. We're going to call it the room front end, and we're going to switch to no backgrounds, and we're going to bring in our objects so that it looks kind of like this. But remember, we did our own background here, so that should be good. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to create a room, and we wanted to call it room front end. We can do that here. Room underscore front end. All right, we're going to go to backgrounds, make sure it's no background. We're going to bring in our objects. So we have no background. And select the background from the pop-up. So we got background 1. And there it is. And we can zoom in and out like this so that we can see our entire screen, so we know what it's supposed to look like. Switch the Objects tab and place one instance of each of the button objects along the bottom row. And then put the title position in the center of the room. We can move it by holding the control key. All right. Objects. All right, so we have object quit, and it's already selected. So let's see, where do we want to put it? We're going to quit at the end. So we put it right here. And we're going to put the scores next to that. So we're going to switch to scores. And it's going to take up 3 spaces, so I'll put that right there. And then we're going to switch to, what's next? Help. You can put these in any order you want. I'm just putting it in the order that they show us. There's help. And next we have load. And the first one we have is our start. All right, so here we have our buttons all set up. And the last one we want to do is our object title, which we want to be right in the middle. So I zoom it in with this. You could do it this way too. So again, pick something over here, push control, and with the control key I can move this around. All right, and then I could scroll in and out. I can click the control key and drag this around. Yeah, that looks good right there. All right, so that looks great. And then I can zoom in. So now I got my my room front end all loaded up. And remember, I put my own image background, and I put created by Mr. Noon on here, or put your name obviously on here so that you know it's your unique page. All right, so we did all of this. And we're just going to add some information to our game here, and then we're going to go on to the completion screen. Okay, so let's quickly add this game information. So we're going to double click on the game information. We're going to type the name of the game and then our name and a short description, and then we're just going to hit the checkbox to close it. So you can add more things. I'm just going to do a simple, so you sample here. So here we have game information, so we're going to click on that, and here you put the name of the game, Rainbow Reef, unless you want to do something different. And you put your name. And then add all the information you want. And put the check box, and then the game information will be there for when people want that information. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're going to make the completion screen. So we have a title screen, and we're going to create the completion screen in a similar way to the one that we did before. All right, so creating a congratulations object that uses alarm events and actions. We're going to create a new sprite called Sprite Congrats using the file congratulations.ping. And then we're going to create an object for congratulations using the congratulations sprite. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have create sprite, load sprite. We want to go to our congratulations. There you go, congratulations. Hit open. Hit OK. Now we're going to make a sprite. We're going to use the... Oh, I forgot to do this. Let's close that right now. We'll call this object underscore congrats. All right. I'm going to hit OK on that right now. I want to change this to sprite underscore congrats. I forgot to name it, so I can do it that way. Now I'm going to open this up again. I'm going to pick my sprite congrats. And I want to add a create event and include the set alarm action from main 2. So events, create event, main 2. We want the set alarm. Set number of steps to 120. Alarm 0. So 120. All right, now we're going to include a set score action below the alarm using new score 1000 and enable relative. Hit OK. Set score 1000. Make it relative. Hit OK. Add. Oh, jeez. Add an alarm. Alarm 0 event. And then put a high score in it. Show high score. Remember, you can change this different colors. Go ahead and do that so that yours looks different than everyone else's. You can change the fonts. Pick out of any of these lists of different fonts you want. All right, make them bold or italic or whatever. Strike out, underline, all these things you can do. You can change the colors and all the rest of it. We'll hit OK there. Include the different room action and select the front end room. Click OK. Close the object properties. Main 1 tab. All right, different room. And our new room is room front-ended. And we could create a transition effect if we want. We had used this center from center before to do it. And now we could do it again. Create from center, just the same. Then hit OK. So this is how we set our alarm up here. It should have looked like that. Notice that the relative is not checked. All right, 120, set alarm 0. Creating a completion room for the game. So now we're going to create a new room called room completed, and switch the backgrounds, switch the object setting, select the congrats object, and position it top left corner of the room. Hit OK. Create a room. Oh, look, it's right there. Go to backgrounds. Oh, wait a second. No backgrounds. Oh, select the background from the pop-up menu. We only have the one background. And then we're going to add the object. All right, so we got background 1 that we had before. And then we have objects. And then we click it in there. Oops. Undo. All right, so we're going to hit Control to drag this around. Put it in the corner. So you see it fits perfect here with our congratulations. All right, so we got to call it room completed. So let's do that. Oops. Rename it room. Oops. Room underscore completed. And remember, type these just as they are, because if you're using code to attach to get these rooms to go from one to the other, you got to make sure you use the names correctly. Okay, so we did that. So we have, all right, room completed. Switch the backgrounds. We added the background. Switch that. Pop left. It is time to test your work and try all the buttons again. Playing with the game should now take you straight. All right, and we go ahead and save it. So let's see what happens. Okay. File, save. And then we have run the game. There you go. So we got the waves, the music. We had our name or your name or my name here. We click on the buttons and we get congratulations. All right. So that's all. We get a high score here. And then it goes back. So here's our name. You should have put a nice description here. Okay. Scores. Show us the scores. Quits. All right. So go ahead and test all your stuff. All right. So we're creating the bouncing starfish, and we have to create our sprites. So we're gonna start with our wall GIF to make a wall sprite. And then we're going to have to find our pop GIF. Pop strip 45 ping. Call it our sprite pop. SPR underscore pop. There we go. Center it. We need our catch GIF. It's a little seashell looking thing. There it is. Center it. And now we're going to have to go down and create our wall object. So hit the object button. OBJ_WALL. And we get our sprite. Make sure it's solid, visible, hit OK. Then we're going to have to do our catch. Now we got to do our keyboard left event. There's our keyboard left event. Now we have to go in our controller and do our check object. Object wall. -10. Check not. Alright, so we just had the check object, and this gives you should have relative, not, object wall, -10, 0, self, and then hit OK. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have jump to position. So let's go ahead in the move tab we have jump to position, and we want this to also be -10 and 0, and we want this to be relative option, and then we can hit OK. Alright, so now this is our left keyboard. Now we also want to have our right keyboard. So we're using, if it goes left, it goes left. If it goes right, it goes right. And we do the same exact same exact things we're doing here. So we got our check object, and we want to use our wall object. Object wall. Now we want this to be +10. Right, so that if we're clicking right, we want it to go right. -10 is to the left, and we want to click relative and not, just like we have here, self. We hit OK. Now the same thing on our move tab. We're going to do jump to position, and we want this to be 10, and we want this to be relative, and then we hit OK. So now we have our object catch. When we hit the little arrow to the left, it should go to the left, jump to that position, and it stops if it hits a wall. And if it goes to the right, we click on the right, it goes to the right. And then we hit OK. All right, that completes the catch object. We create an object for pop next. So now we're going to create the pop objects. So here we're creating the pop object. So create object, pop. And we use a sprite, the pop sprite. Set its depth to 10 right there. Add event, we have a create event. Move free, add the speed 12. I'm going to put in random 60 plus 60 as the direction. So there's a direction, random. We want to make sure we spell everything correctly. Next, we're going to want to set the gravity. In the main 2, main 1. It's got the arrows on it. It's in the Move tab. There it is. Set gravity. Direction 270. Gravity 0.2. Wait, okay. Now we're going to add a collision event. Get the bounce action. Collision event with the wall. Bounce. Precisely against solid objects. Got to add a collision event with the catch object. We got to type in 90 plus object. Collision with the catch. Move freely. $90 plus object underscore catch dot x minus x. 90 plus object underscore catch dot x minus x. And then for the direction we want speed plus 0.3. Speed plus 0.3. Finally, you want to restart the room when the pop falls. Add other outside room event. Include the restart action. Main 1 tab. Other. Outside room. And then the restart action in the main 1. No, main 1. Main 1. Main 1. There you go. We could have done a transition if we wanted to. Or you can. Alright, so now we want to right click on the room completed. Call it the room test. Room completed. Wall sprites. We're going to put our wall sprites in and have a background. So snap to 20, snap Y, 20. Backgrounds. Background 1. Oh, that looks nice. It's a nice picture. You pick your own picture. Have your own background. You can have multiple backgrounds. You're going to make different levels so you can have different backgrounds for different rooms. Now we got to put in our star and our catch and our wall. All right, don't put a wall on the bottom like I'm doing here. You don't want to do that. You just want the top and the sides, because your star is going to bounce around, and you're going to want it that you have to catch it so that it leaves the game. All right, so now we got our catch right there. Remember, we have it so that when we do the right arrow, it goes to the right, and the left arrow goes to the left. There's our object pop. That little starfish is going to bounce around, and we're going to have to bounce it in the room. So we got a new sprite called Big Legs. Big Leg. Using the Big Leg strip 24 ping. There you go, Big Leg. Then we're going to have to make an object, a big leg object, obj underscore big leg, using the big leg sprite. We're going to add a collision, destroy instance. So we have a collision with the object pop, destroy instance. We have our score. What do we get? 200 points. That's nice. Relative. So 200 points every time it gets hit. All right, so we're going to have to create a controller object. Resource for the game. So we're going to create an object with no sprite in it. So here's a new object. Call it object controller. No sprite. We got to add step event. There you go. And then we have a test instant count action in the control tab. Has the 1, 2, 3 under it. There you go. We indicate the big leg object. There you go. Then we put in a start block, a sleep from main 2, next room. So there's a start block, main 2, sleep. One 1,000. Include the next room from main 1 tab. We could put a transition in there if we wanted to, and then end block. All right, so now we're going to duplicate the test room resources. So there's an image here, but I want you to make yours to look unique. So here we go into our test room. We're going to make some more wall stuff. We dropped in our object controller right there. It's invisible, so there's no real deal. Then you can put a couple of these big leg guys in here. You can put them anywhere you want. Doesn't have to look like the picture. I'd rather it didn't. Make it interesting. So now we duplicated the room. Add some wall objects. It says make it look like figure 6-9, which you see here, but make it look unique. Yeah, those shouldn't be there, the walls on the bottom. So if you did, you delete those if you have them there. Yeah, delete those. You can put that starfish anywhere. So we're changing this name to Room Challenge. So we're going to create a small big leg object using the sprite. Small big leg sprite. So let's create it first. There you go. And then we create the object. Big leg small. Alright, so we have object big leg move using the small. depth of 10. Get the parent in there. Use a create event with a move fixed action. Pick left and right, speed of 8. I'm going to add a collision event now with a reverse horizontal action. Collision with wall. Reverse horizontal. Okay. We got an object here. Big leg move small. The parent, the object big leg move, depth field of 10, depth field of 10, and then there's our parent. Press the OK button. Alright, so we gotta create a title object. Then select the create event, include set lives action. There's our object title. There's our set lives to 3. There we go, 3, okay. And outside, main 1, apply, destroy the instant. Include the test instant count from the control tab. Control tab, test instant. Want to pick the object pop. Hit OK. Startup block. Set lives. New lives set to -1 with relative option enabled. I'm going to click on that relative option. Set lives. Click on relative. OK. And then we have a create instance, object pop, 320, and then 300 for the Y. Hit OK. Then we end block. We're going to edit the controller object now. Add the other no more lives, show high score. Object controller. Add other. No more lives. Score. Show high score. You could change this to be anything you want for the fonts and all the rest of it. Okay. So we want to include the different room action, and we want to indicate the front end room. And if you want to put a transition effect, you can pick any kind of transition effect you want to go in there, and then hit OK. And then hit OK. So now we're going to create a sprite for a controller object to draw as lives. So we create a sprite called sprite catch small. So sprite catch small. We look for our small. There it is. Catch small. Alright, then we double click on the controller object and add a draw event to include the draw life image action. Draw life, little hearts. It's in the score. Yeah, there we go. Draw. And then we go in the score tab. There it is. Little hearts right there. We want X to be 25 and Y to be 470. No. We want X to be 25, X to be 25, and Y to be 470. There we go. Let's change this. So then we want our sprite to be the small catch. Sprite. Oh, that's a catch sprite. We want the small catch. There we go. Sprite, catch, small. Then we hit OK. And OK. Now we're going to make our sprite the blocks sprite. I'm going to duplicate it. So we're going to make a lot of block sprites. Just go through and make them all. Block 5. Let's look. Block 5. Make sure you spell everything correctly. We got our 7 blocks. We got to make 7 objects for these blocks. Make sure they're solid. Go back, make sure all are solid. Now we're going to go in the edit the object pop. Put in our collisions with these blocks. Add a bounce against solid objects. Set score. 20 with a relative option. And then destroy instant. Applies to others. All right, solid block. Give the wall object as a parent. Parent, wall object. There we go. Creating invisible blocks. Make it yep, block solid. Check off the visible so you can't see it. Make sure it's solid. All right, now we gotta create a double block. Use a sprite. Make our object out of the double. Make it solid. Alright, we gotta add an event to the pop. Okay. So we got our object pop. Add event, collision. For our double block. Include the bounce. And set precise to precisely. Set score. New score 20. Relative option. Change instant. Other. Object block 1. And then close the object property form. The split block. Gotta set collision with the pop object. Alright, so we're gonna make our object. Use our sprite. Parent. Block 1. Solid. So we're going to add a collision with the object pop. Create instant. We want the self, object pop, other.x, other.y. Okay. So now we're going to add our extra life block. So we got our object, block life. We use our sprite, block life, solid, parent, object 1. We're going to add a collision in there. Now it's time to test all these blocks by adding them to our test levels. Right? So feel free to experiment and see what incredible combinations of levels you can come up with, or just use ours by loading. Well, you don't have that, so you're going to have to go ahead and create your own combinations. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go to our rooms, and we have different rooms, and what we're going to do is we're going to look for our objects, and you're going to find blocks, and you're just going to put different blocks in different ways on your game. All right, you're just gonna drop them all over the place. You're gonna do that. You're gonna create different levels, obviously, like you figured out. All right, you're gonna put different blocks, all different. There's object lives. You're gonna make like a breakout game, and you're gonna want to make probably 5 levels. So go ahead, and this is a lot of extra lives, by the way. And then remember what you want to do. So for this one, let's do a couple of these blocks. All right, so there's all different blocks that you're going to put together. All right, so you're going to make all different types of walls. It'll be a breakout game. And then remember, down here, you're going to delete all of these. All right, you're going to delete across all these ones on the bottom so that this is open. You're going to do it for this one. You're going to do it for all your levels. You can do all types of wall blocks in different ways, different combinations. You can have like a couple wall blocks here and delete it. But obviously, like breakout, the object is that this bounces around and it hits the different blocks and then comes back. And if you miss it, you're going left and right to keep it in the game. If you miss it, that's how you lose your life. Okay, so you're going to do that in here. You're going to come over here. You're going to delete all of these wall objects down here. So this across here loses all that. And then you're going to make 5 levels. So now we have to add sound effects. All right, so we got all different sound effects, and then we save the game, and we can polish it up and make it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and add the sound effects now. All right, so we got wall sounds, block sounds, coming into sounds. Give it our name, sound wall. Find our, there it is, our wall, sound wall. Okay. Sound block. Okay. Sound catch. Okay. Sound lost. Lost sound. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Big leg sound. Sound click. Okay. So we got all our sounds in. Make sure you save the game. All right, play the sounds. We got that in our object pop. Collision with the object. Sound catch. Sound block. We're going to want to put the sound block on the double block too, because it's a double block. Oh, double block, block 1. Should play the sound block. Sound lost. Yeah, the double block. I want to put that sound on the double block one also, the sound block. There you go. Add that sound in there. There you go. Block. Going the catch. Left press right there. Click. 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 Click, click. Sound. Click. All right, that's all the buttons. Alright, so add a save actions to controller object. Add a key press, letter S event, save game. I'm gonna get our action now. Key press, there you go. Letter S. I want the save game from main 2. There you go, right? Oh, a little, there you go. Right there, save game. Game saved into the message. Save. So you can go back to your game information and write that down. That you press S to save the game. Key press. Functions. Others. Escape. Different room. Room front end. There you go. There's our game information. You could say things like, oh, press S for save game. Resources. Here's our game settings. Other. uncheck those two so that we have it in our game. Object part pop start. All right, creating stationary pop object resource. All right, so let's get in here. Depth of 10. Add event, create. Set alarm from main 2, 30. Okay. Object pop. You get yes to perform events. This is a change instance. We don't want to create an instance. We want to change. There you go. Object pop. Perform events. Yes. Reopen pop objects properties form. Change the pop object to object pop start. Create instance. Down a little lower. Right there. All right, now let's change that object. Object pop start. Hit OK. So now we got to change our pop objects that we put in our rooms. Okay, so now I go to our rooms. Not that one. There we go. All right, we got to delete this guy. And then we have to go to our objects down here. Pop start. Pop him. He looks the same, but he's different. Put him anywhere you want. Doesn't make a difference where he goes. Go anywhere. Go to the next room. Delete this guy. And pop. Start. Bam. There he is. Doesn't make a difference where he goes. He can go anywhere. Yeah, let's just make it a little different. Remember, we got rid of those bricks on the bottom, the wall on the bottom. Get rid of that stuff. And you should have your own bricks. You should have those game bricks out all over the place. Create some levels. The rooms, go to the next room, previous room, restart. Key press. Letters N. Then we go and say that's going to be the next room. You can do transitions in there. That's fun. Key press. Letters P. Previous room. letter R. R. Restart. Transitions are nice. Key press L for your lives. Relative, okay. Alright, so make sure that you okay. Add all kinds of big legs. Add all types of blocks that move around and do all kinds of stuff. Add bonus blocks. Give large number of points. Add some bad blocks. Add blocks to increase and decrease. See how nice that is? Boinga, boinga, boinga. Add blocks that can change the size of things. And then you're done. And then you can submit your game. Submit it all up to Alright, so let's close this up and let's go ahead. So file, save, and then make sure that it was saved as in your document section. So this is, I have mine in lesson 6 of student work. All right, so now we're going to go to Teams. We're going to go to period 5. And we're going to go to our, what do we got here? Our files. And we're looking for Super Rainbow Reef. Ooh, we got some people added this already. This is all part 1 though. These are all the executives, so we know how to do this. So we're going to go to our game, file, create executable. In our documents, oh yeah, sure, okay. This is a Rainbow Reef file. So create your executable, hit OK. And then we come over here, upload, files. I will go to documents. Let's see, there's Rainbow Reef. It's my documents, right? Oh, here we go. There it is, Rainbow Reef. Ooh, this is all this stuff in it. There we go. And there's my executable. Hit open. And it uploads. It's doing it right now, uploading one item. And there you go. This is the full game that I could click on, download, and open up and play. So go ahead and get that done, and then you'll be done with this and you'll get a good grade.